Prophet got the fire beat.
What's up? Welcome to the Prophecy Podcast. I am your host, Obese the Prophet, here with the co-host. This is Justin Martin.
Hey.
Tonight I'm bringing you in as I do the sponsors so that we can feel like it was last time, except I wasn't. But yeah, the Prophecy Podcast is proudly sponsored to you, proudly sponsored by NPC Stuff. .com. Head over there if you need any replacement and upgrade products for your MPC or any other Akai machines. I've always used them. They're great. I got nothing bad to say about them. And I regret nothing apparel. They're going through a update and putting out a bunch of new stuff coming for the, I think, summer collection or whatever. So they've gone through an update. I don't know if it's out yet, but they're going to re-put out their Instagram. The website's still up, but they haven't put anything up yet. But be looking for some new stuff from them and some clearance stuff too for like lower prices. Also, if you're trying to get something from them, Fire on 4 always brings us our smoke break, and they're located at 367 4th Street in Portland, Maine's Old Port District. They're medical only, so make sure you got your card when you go in there. Elevate Audio Visual, doing music videos, playlist placements, promos. Anything you can think of, websites, graphic design, whatever it is, head over to elevateaudioandvisual.com. Hit us up. And last but not least, Bars Over Bars.
Bars.
For putting it all on. So tonight's guest is a Bars Over Bars affiliate and someone who hosts other shows here from time to time. He's at a show every Tuesday with Libsy. They do What's Beef. And he's a producer, DJ. I'm sure he has many other talents as well. But yeah, Vincentenced is here, Cam. So let's bring him on and start the interrogation. What's up?
How's it going?
Good, man.
Motherfucking Cam.
Yo.
Yeah, so what's up, man? Been working?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've gotta start learning the keyboard a lot more now that I have one.
Yeah.
So,
well, yeah. Should bring it right to work with you. I used to ride the bus with mine under my arm and shit right to my cousin's house.
Yep.
Make beats.
If this thing would fit in my work, I definitely would. It does not fit though.
Well, you can play it outside.
True.
So yeah, why don't you just let us know, a little introduction about yourself, age, hometown, story about your name, how'd you get that, and how long you've been kind of, making music or creating stuff.
All right. So, Cam, 16, resident 16-year-old from Bars Over Bars. How I got my name. I was named after the Bruins player Cam Neely. Music's been a really big part of my life, and when I realized that I could start doing music, I was all about it. And it's just been since ever then I wanted to do something. And for the past couple years, I've actually been kind of taking it a bit seriously. I've learned a lot of stuff, got networked with a bunch of people. You guys probably know how that goes.
Yeah.
Got a bunch of artists and all that popping in here. We got Lucifer, my man.
Lucifer is here, like, I think for every show almost.
Yeah.
feel
My
like-
boy Blue.
I feel like Lucifer
Big
doesn't
boy
watch
Blue.
regular TV. I think he's always tuned into Bars Over Bars. So, like, if we had a channel, like, he'd probably be the one person who was always on that channel. Like, well, we were on Roku, which we've talked about. or some shit like that. He would definitely be there. If we were sending out surveys of what you want to see, it would be going to his house.
Hmm.
So yeah, shout out Bluesver in here as usual. Bars.
Yep.
So yeah, how many years did you say you started into music? You always been into it, but I mean, when did you really start creating it? You know what I mean?
Um, I think I might have been 12 or 13 when I first started making music.
Mm-hmm.
I would see those ads, those like, really corny Google Play ads like, oh yeah, do you do this, and it's got like the color squares and you hit it.
Right.
And I would mess with that and I was like, wow, this is cool. I want to get a physical one. And
Yeah.
then a couple years later when I learned about DAWs, which are programs like FL Studio, Ableton. I'm gonna summon Nick Lovin when I say that, but you know,
Yeah, you can't say
um,
Ableton too loud, or you might pop up like a genie
yeah,
out of the speaker. um,
um, I that was maybe 3 or 4 years ago now, probably closer to 5, and I've been using FL. I've been doing some stuff. I started off doing music with my boy Alex. We still work together a lot, but I do a bunch of stuff solo now. He's still doing stuff solo. Like I was at his house earlier. We were working on some stuff. We were hanging out, making some music.
yeah, sounds like a good time.
Yeah, it was.
So, Justin, any recent strange news, discussions, weird shit?
Yeah, I actually got I got 3 things here, and they're all kind of related.
Yeah.
So last week, I don't know if you guys saw Late Night with James Corden, but Barack Obama was on.
Okay.
Nope.
And yeah, I'm not into watching James Corden either, but this was very interesting. I guess at some point during their interview, UFOs came up, and Obama is quoted as saying, "When it comes to aliens, there are just some things I can't tell you on air." What is true, and I'm actually being serious here, is that there is footage and records of objects in the skies that we don't know exactly what they are. So he thinks, you know, there's some stuff that he couldn't say publicly, of
Well, yeah.
course, but he's confirming the fact that there is records and footage of things on our planet that we cannot explain, that we don't know where they came from.
Right.
And this is ahead of there's going to be a big UFO report coming out in June. I think I had mentioned it a month or 2 ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In another story. So this big report is coming out soon. So it's interesting that Obama is on national television, pretty much confirming, yeah, there's a bunch of shit we got going on. We have recorded, we have documented, and I can't really say much about it. I can't really explain any of it.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, there's I think a senator, Marco Rubio from Florida.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a senator.
Yeah.
He's an interesting person.
Yeah, I mean, he's an a-hole, but he's also on record this week saying that we need to take this seriously and that anything that's in our airspace should be considered a threat. And he wants, military action, or to,
Yeah.
to be involved. And I just find it interesting that we have 2, high profile politicians coming out and saying this stuff. Second story, kind of to piggyback on that,
Mm-hmm.
there is this came out yesterday, updated yesterday, and it's the U.S. Navy had some submarines, and I'm trying to find exactly where they were in the world. They encountered some fast-moving objects underwater that cannot be explained by experts or current technology. And I've read reports about some cases recently where they're seeing aerial phenomenon with UFOs, like typical UFOs flying around in the sky that dive into the water. So they're thinking that these could be related because, again, they're unexplainable.
Yep.
And it says the U.S. Navy has picked up sonar data showing mysterious, fast-moving objects underwater. And clearly, the current technology doesn't match up. And if experts can't explain it, what the fuck is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
And then third, so if that's not fucking crazy enough, we got politicians coming out saying, yeah, it's real. We got the Navy saying, hey, we got some weird shit going on. And then the third, and this is kind of, I don't know if I could take this seriously, but do what you will with this information.
I'm getting my grains of salt ready.
So there, I guess the International Space Station has a constant live feed or whatever. And some people recently, again, this was yesterday, updated yesterday. Some people caught on the live feed what they believe to be something strange passing the orbiting laboratory. So during a standard live stream, 4 bright objects seem to move in unison in the background of pitch blackness. And according to one alien hunter, the lights are all part of one UFO, which is monitoring humans on Earth. And this conspiracy theorist, Scott C. Waring, made the bizarre claim stating that extraterrestrials are observing us following a tough year. So with this whole pandemic thing going on, he's saying the aliens are kind of watching us and seeing how we react. Yeah. And yeah, let me find this part. He said, right now is a tipping point for humanity. The doomsday clock is close to midnight. And the reason they're watching us is to see if we are fit to expand in the universe. So take that with a grain of salt. But
I say no, we're not. Send us back. Return to sender.
Back.
Sticks and stones.
Nope, didn't do it this time.
Here's my return label. Take it back.
Yeah, totally not going to hit that mark. We were way too close to the fucking doomsday clock being where it's not supposed to be. That there's no turning back. I think the scientists were saying not too long ago that we had months, and that the pandemic really helped, but the bounce back from the pandemic is going to really hurt. Yeah. So like if we had a consecutive 5, 6, 8, 10 years like we did with the pandemic, where nobody was hardly traveling around the whole globe, if we could sustain that for 10 years, we could turn it around. But there's no fucking way. No. People are already just going crazy trying to get back into traveling and doing everything else. There's no slowing it down. So that clock's going to go past midnight at some point.
Yeah, so I found that interesting with all this, the slew of UFO stuff coming out. I'm into UFOs and aliens and shit. So this report that's coming out in June is going to be very interesting. And I don't know what's going to be on it. I'm assuming it's going to be, documented cases where, people have seen shit happen. It's not going to be Area 51. It's not going to be, specimens that they have stored and all that shit. It's going to be similar to the shit that's already coming out, but it's going to be confirmed. Yeah, we know about it. We don't know what's happening. We don't know what to do about it, kind of stuff. Yeah. So,
So I mean, I got a couple little articles that was interesting. So this one is talking about the growth, because I think it was last week or the week before, we talked about people eating that fucking meat to try to get high. Remember that?
Yeah, the rotten meat.
Yeah, eating the rotten meat. So, the internet fad of eating the rotten meat to get high, that's only a fad, at least we hope, right? But people around the world do actually eat some pretty gross things. So they made a top list of grossest things. And so if you don't know, you're about to get educated. So
I'm very intrigued now.
Lay it on us.
All right. So Rocky Mountain oysters. Anybody know what that is?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Okay. Well, it's the testicles of young bulls. So yeah, they smash them. They do a bunch of shit. They pound them flat or some shit, right? That's what they say they do with it. They're sold today in several towns in the U.S. They hold testicle festivals. If you can believe it. Events that center entirely around the consumption of these Rocky Mountain oysters. So that's nasty, and that's right here in the U.S. All right, so hakarl, I think is what it's called. Hakarl is the national dish of Iceland. And essentially, it's just a Greenland shark that's been left to rot on the ground for several months. So kind of like that other shit, but Greenland shark flesh has so much urea in it that it's actually poisonous. However, the Icelandic people came up with an ingenious way of making the shark edible. They got and beheaded before burying it in a shallow grave. After fermenting for 4 months, the shark's cut up and hung to dry before being ready to serve. So it's one of the most disgusting foods on the planet, as many describe it. Many famous chefs, including Gordon Ramsay and Anthony Bourdain, have barely taken a bite of it before spitting it out and refusing to ever touch it again.
Oh
So
shit!
why the
No
fuck?
surprise.
Number one, why the fuck is that the national dish? I mean, come on. You can't come up with anything better in Iceland. I mean, I know there's hardly anything up there, but still, they gotta have something. You know what I'm saying?
My God,
That's
that is
just
nasty.
wild. So over in Asia, the Philippines, they have something called balut, right?
Oh
It's
yeah, I heard about balut.
fertilized duck eggs that have partially developed
Embryos. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Gnarly.
they incubate the eggs for 14 to 21 days before collecting them. They're boiled or steamed, or whatever, and they come out. Those fuckers come out with like the
Feathers and beaks and shit.
right. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
like developed. So like it's very fucking strange, and that I knew about. I'd seen that before, and this one's fucking hilarious because I know we knew about it because shout out former Celtics player Milt Palacio, but
Nope.
region, but this stuff is called milt, right? And milt is fish sperm, basically is what it is. Female fish produce roe like caviar, which male fish fertilize with milt. The word can also refer to the sperm sacs of the male fish, and milt is actually pretty popular. It's consumed everywhere from Japan to Korea, Russia, and Nordic countries, and the UK. People generally eat it fried or raw.
So you said it's fish semen?
Yeah, fish sperm. That's what
People are
it is.
eating fish cum.
Milt. Yeah,
Do
and
they
they're-
eat that at the testicle festivals too?
Yeah, I mean, maybe
I want to know that.
put some on the Rocky Mountain oysters. You know what I'm saying?
Like,
Oh.
oh yeah,
Serve
I've got a nice big plate of Rocky Mountain oysters. Let me put some fish cum on it.
yeah, exactly.
We sprinkle
This
some
will
milk
really-
on it.
This will really take the spice up a notch.
And just
So
pulls out a big canister of milk.
yeah. So number 5 on this list is called century eggs. So we're going back to Asia and we're going for some more eggs. This time heading to China to try century eggs. So
China.
chicken, duck, or quail eggs are placed into a mixture of clay, ash, salt, quick lime, and rice hulls. After curing for a few months in this special sauce, the eggs come out looking pretty funky. So the egg yolk turns into a greenish gray mass while the white becomes a brown translucent jelly. They have an intense salty flavor thanks to a final pH of around 12.
Jesus.
Despite
Ugh.
their appearance and strange preparation methods, century eggs are safe to eat and are usually consumed as hors d'oeuvres straight out of the shell. Yeah. So number 6, which that's just like when you go back and you look at the other fucking eggs with like the embryo, that doesn't even compare to it.
Right.
Yeah, but still.
But yeah, so the next one, they don't even have a fancy name for this one. It's just called warthog anus. So if you're visiting Nambian Bushman, you might be invited to try some freshly cooked warthog anus. Whether
Yeah,
you
let me get some of that, yo.
whether you want to accept the invitation is up to you. So after they got the warthog, the butcher pulls out the anus and the last 1 foot of intestine. Right? They clean all the feces out of it and they throw it in a fire pit. And yeah, never mind the ashes and dirt. They're supposed to get in there, so they just throw it right on there.
I mean, you're eating ass already. What the fuck is ash and dirt, you know?
True.
Here to go with your asshole, right? It's important not to cook the intestine for too long, though. It should be served al dente, like the finest of spaghetti. After all, who doesn't want some bite to have some bite to their warthog anus? Not Anthony Bourdain. He put this dish on the same would not eat list as hakarl that we talked about earlier. So no, pass. I'll pass on.
Bro, if Anthony Bourdain ain't gonna eat that shit, I'm not even gonna
Yeah, they
fucking
would
look at it,
Motherfuckers are eating everything.
Facts.
right? Like he
Um,
had a show about eating weird shit, and he's not looking at it, you know?
yeah. All right, so this is probably the worst one. It's just called Casa Marzu. It's also spelled a different way, but who gives a fuck? It's is a Sardinian fermented sheep's milk cheese. We're using the word fermented liberally here because really the cheese enters a state of decomposition. But wait, that's not all. An, an
But
integral
wait, there's more.
an integral part of the cheese is the maggots. That's right. Casu marzu is to a fly larvae.
Order now and you can get free maggots with your cheese.
No. But they say also that upon consumption, the maggots might try to leap out of the cheese, but you better guard your eyes. You want the maggots alive because if they're dead, Sardinians will tell you that the cheese is no longer edible. So you got to eat them live, basically, is what they're saying. And
I'd rather shoot myself.
they they made it illegal to manufacture and sell in the U.S. and the European Union.
Oh, thank God.
But despite the ban, there's a huge black market for it. No pesky laws can stop them from enjoying their rotten, maggot-infested cheese out there in Sardinia. So, shout out to them for having some gross-ass shit. And, yeah, I mean, there's a few other fucking... I don't know if you heard about people got arrested for cops found a cult leader's mummified corpse in Colorado, in a Colorado home. They were, like, keeping it there like and, like, worshipping the body. Don't ask me why, but the cult was called Love Has Won. And her followers, they knew the cult leader, Amy Carlson, as the mother of God. So they like don't know why this is still under investigation. They don't know how she died or whatever. All they know is that the mummified remains were set up in some type of shrine, and she had makeup and glitter on her skin and shit like that. And when they were questioned, they just said that that's what she wanted. So that's what they did.
I don't know whether I should be disturbed or amazed at how ridiculous and retarded people can be.
Yeah, they don't think she passed away. That's why the 5-dimensional emissary, they say that she left the mortal realm, but they don't believe she's died. That's why they won't bury her.
Just
You know,
back in here.
so yeah, to me, I think that's really fucking strange. But
That is interesting.
Some weird ass shit. People keeping dead bodies around. I know it's not the only case of it happening, but
Right.
Have you ever heard of cannibalism?
no, never heard of it, bro. What is it?
People eat people.
Yeah,
Big sick.
You ever seen the movie Alive, dude?
Nah, I can't say that I have.
Big story about like a fucking Guatemalan, I can't remember, South American.
It was something like that. I know what you're talking about, but I can't say that I've seen it.
Yeah, the plane crashed and they had no other choice, man. So that happened, and some people lived to tell about it. So they had to go through it and fucking live, which is crazy shit. But
you know what I had the most heated debate about earlier?
what is it?
So you know how in World War II, the U.S. came out with the invention of a trench gun?
Mm-hmm.
Hitler decided trench guns were too unfair for World War II and called a temporary ceasefire to tell everyone that trench guns were banned while they're out here with, M82 flamethrowers and literal gas grenades burning people's skin off.
Yeah.
And you want to tell us that a 12 gauge shotgun is unfair?
Yeah, no, they were just
It's
getting
retarded.
those things, dude, and they didn't like it.
So
They were like,
dumb.
we can't get past them if they have those guns. We're gonna ban them. Yeah. So yeah, let's talk about your first projects, maybe your early influences, stuff like that, and yeah, let us know if like in school, were you in like band, choir? Do you play any instruments related to school, like active activities or whatever? I know you said that you do help at the church and stuff like that, and you can include that information too in that. And then let us know what other genres you listen to besides hip hop. What other kinds of stuff that you like to listen to.
All right, so back to my earliest projects and stuff. Definitely a lot of my influences were like Tupac, Biggie, Outkast, Logic, Ludacris, Wiz Khalifa, Snoop Dogg, um, definitely Eminem.
Mm-hmm.
The two songs that Fetty Wap had, that one Bobby Shmurda song everyone knows, and then as far as influences go and stuff like that, it was mostly some of that, and then some like really like poppy stuff that would be on the radio that would have like hip hop in it. Um, like if you remember the Machine Gun Kelly song he did with Camila Cabello called "Bad Things," that
Yeah.
was like a poppy song with a rap verse on it. So there
Mm-hmm.
was a lot of stuff like that as well. Um, and as far as like school goes and stuff, I played guitar for a little bit out of school. Same with piano, but in school, because I had to take some sort of musical class, and I wasn't trying to do that for school. I did chorus for a couple of years. Um, the I hated every single second of it,
Yeah, well, when you're in there, you don't get to really do what you want. You know what I mean? So like,
but we
you have
did
to
take a
do what they
trip to
tell
Six
you.
Flags because we got my middle school a platinum medal, so I
Oh
was
shit!
hyped about that.
How do you get
So
a platinum medal in chorus?
For being the best school in the state for chorus.
Oh shit, that's sick.
Yeah,
yeah,
and there's a lot of different middle schools in Mass down here.
Hell yeah, there is.
yep, hell yeah.
And then as far as stuff I listen to that's not hip hop, I listen to some poppy stuff from like 2000s, 2010s. I don't listen to a lot of that stuff now because
Mhm.
it's not it. Um,
Yeah,
don't ever ask me anything about country because I will leave.
yeah. I don't
It's
trust
all
that either.
pop music now. Like put on some like old country stuff. We're chilling.
Yeah.
And I've been really heavy into like pop punk stuff lately, like pop punk, punk rock. Um, been heavy into that and lo-fi as well. I'm digging a lot of lo-fi stuff.
Lo-fi is always good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, um, your first project. Let's talk about that more. What is your first? Do you have first project? Are you on Spotify? Do you have something on SoundCloud? What do you got? I know you're making beats, right? You have some
Yeah.
beats out there. Do you have anywhere where people can check them out, or are they just got to hit you up? Or how's it work?
On my SoundCloud, I believe I have my first two beats I did. I did them with my friend Alex in his bedroom. His parents bought him a Yamaha keyboard
Mhm.
that had a USB connector, and we plugged it into his computer with FL Studio, and we pretty much made the whole beat like that. And then we used like a website that automated the mixing and mastering for us
Mhm.
because we didn't know what we were doing.
Right.
The first two ones are up on my SoundCloud that I did,
Mhm.
and also on my SoundCloud you'll find my QNC Entertainment beat submission. They did a beat challenge a bit back, and I hit up my boy Alex, and we went and entered.
Yep.
I'm really just working on a graphic right now, and once I do have the graphic, I'll be able to release my first beat tape. It's gonna have like 10 beats on it or something like that.
Yeah. You're gonna put it to like the streaming places, Spotify and shit like that.
Yeah, you got me. You told me about Song Trader.
Hmm.
I'm gonna throw that in there because I signed up for the free plan,
Yeah.
and then I'll put it on like Apple Music, Spotify.
Yeah. Cool. So everybody can check it out then. And have
Yeah.
you been, as far as in, I mean, making beats, but have you been doing beats for these MCs out here? Like, who have you got beats out there for?
Um, I've sent some stuff to D Twilly.
Hmm.
I don't know if he's using any of it. I just had a song with Chemic come out literally this morning,
Yeah.
called "Feed Me to the Wolves." She has another beat. All right, Justin. This
She's
is
got
you.
another one that's from you that she's supposed to do still. She hasn't
Yep.
done. Yeah.
I've sent some stuff to Hero, but when I was sending stuff to him, it was very more on the side of boom trap than boom bap, because obviously I'm still kind of learning how to do that stuff. And Gangsta Miz, a New Bedford cat we have down here,
Hmm.
Dizzy 508. I've sent some stuff to Libsy, people like that. I
Yeah.
think I've sent some beats to Am I Psycho, but other than that, I haven't had many people like reach out to me. And when I reach out to people, more often than not, they're like, "No, like what is this? And trying to scam me or something?" Like I literally hit them up and I'm like, "Hey yo, I'm a producer from New Bedford. You looking for beats? I can sauce you something."
They're just like, what? It's a scam. Like,
They're like, "Wait, I actually don't have to pay for once. This scam." Like, if you want me to, I can charge you beat fees.
yeah, I
Like,
mean, just start charging them, bro.
like
Um,
I have some people that I will never charge for a beat. Like Chemic, if she asks me for a beat, I'm never gonna charge her. Hero, if he asks me for a beat, I'm never gonna charge him. Some people that I have like in my close circle as far as like local hip hop goes.
yeah. Um,
Um,
but yeah, so what's your process like for making beats? Like, what are you using to make them?
I do mess around with band labs now, which is kind of just like it's more often than not used for like dragging and dropping
Yeah,
like loops and samples and all that. I'll be messing around with something on there, be like, oh, that's kind of wavy actually. And then I'll head over to FL and then try to create something that gives me the same type of vibe.
yeah. Hmm.
Or sometimes I'll be listening to a specific artist and then I'll get inspired to make some type of beat and then I'll go in there and I'll make it. Or sometimes I'll just go in with my friend Alex. We'll go through like our 2000 synth options or whatever. We'll pick something out, we'll do something and be like, huh, we can turn this into a beat. And then we do.
Yeah. So a lot of the times, like you're making stuff, you're doing like collab style shit, right? Like you're working with someone else, kind of catching a vibe off of them, or what?
Um,
You do that a lot.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
And with the collab stuff between me and my friend Alex, it's more like a shared vibe, not like one person gives a vibe and then I kind of roll with it. Like we're just doing the same thing. We're listening to sounds and then we find one and we're both like, yep, that's the one.
Yeah.
And we don't have to even like talk about what we want to do with it because we just know.
Yeah.
Um,
So that works out well, especially when you're able to vibe with somebody that you know what I'm saying. And some people have strengths versus weaknesses, and you can
mhm,
pick it up. Like I used to do that a lot when I was younger, just working with somebody else all the time. One for a period of time, it was this kid MOG. For another period of time, it was like this kid Young Merc, and then Ajax was another person. That's just like we always had, um, bounce back and forth ideas, and I feel like you can get more creative that way. But nowadays, um, now that I'm older and shit like that, it's easier for me to just get something going like by myself. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
you can vibe like that. But early on, to kind of build like your how you're going to be as a producer and like what your sound is, you're kind of still in them stages right now. So like working with other people and shit like that will be beneficial for you when you finally break free of that, and you just like all of a sudden you just will find a groove where you're like doing everything on your own, and like
Hmm.
this is exactly what I had envisioned my sound to actually be. You know what I mean? That happens, takes time, but it eventually happens to where I think for most people anyway, like we talked about this with Shane Rise when he was on here and a few other people too. You just can get into a groove easier when you know exactly how everything's supposed to be and
Hmm.
how you want it to sound, and you know what I'm saying? Because once you've developed that, it's easy to just stick to that, and that's your fucking sound. Whereas you're still developing it, you'll try different things, and you'll reach out and you'll do this off the wall shit, and you'll do this. Like you go one end of the spectrum to the other end, and I feel like when you get your own sound and shit, you tend to stay like in your lane or whatever.
Hmm.
And it can be like a hindrance or whatever for some people might think of it that way, but I don't. I just feel like before shit was all over the place and like the mixes were all different and like the style was all different and like I think the main thing
Yeah.
mixing, once you get the consistency with the sound and your sound has a certain sound, like DJ Premier, all his beats are mixed and mastered a certain way. They have a certain sound, right? And like
Hmm.
there's certain southern like trap producers and shit, they all have that really 808 heavy sound and shit like that. So yeah, everybody needs that, but you need to go through like that period of learning from everybody else and pulling influence from people too to kind of get your sound, which is
Yeah.
it's crazy, you know what I'm saying? But you can sit there all day and listen to all the music, but if you're not actually listening and then translating it into making the music, it doesn't really matter, so for
Hmm.
years you could listen to hip hop and be like, oh, I've listened to hip hop for 30 years, I can fucking make a beat, just show me how. And you still would take a time period to fucking still develop a sound, you know what I'm saying? You wouldn't just jump in and be
Yeah.
the Premiere. You have to like get there. So like no matter what you do, just keep collabing with people and reaching out. So
Yeah.
try to get your shit
Um.
out to like as many people as you can, and eventually you'll find the ones that like you vibe really good with, and then you'll be able to kind of like
Hmm.
carve out a path for each one of these people, and you'll be
Yeah.
with a bunch of people, and you'll have a certain sound. Start developing it, because yeah, that Chemic song that you guys did was fucking dope, man. There's no I don't have anything bad to say about it, So
Yeah. And there's a thing that I do that I don't think I've ever seen or heard anyone do something similar. Um. So I'm a skateboard junkie. I love skateboarding. Riding is one of the best feelings besides making music.
yeah,
Um, but the way I'm able to pick up on a lot of the stuff is that when I skate, I don't want to be skating out of rhythm to whatever I'm listening to.
mm,
So I'll be going and like I'll go to do something and I'll be like, all right, well, this is how this part of the song is going. I've got to wait till, this happens so then I can do this. And it kind of builds like that internal like rhythm and almost kind of like sixth sense, because even though you might have never heard a song before, because you pay attention to the way things are in a lot of other songs, you can kind of predict how things are going to go. um I
yeah,
don't
bro.
know if you've ever seen or heard anything like that.
I mean, not really, but I mean, it's a fucking it's a wide world, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So that's not to say that it's not happening. But yeah, I want to talk about before we get too far into the time frame here. And Justin's back now, so trying to switch gears over to favorite unexplained phenomenon. So like, do you have something that interests you of the unexplained or weird shit? Like some people are into Bigfoot, werewolves, zombies, ghosts. I don't fucking know. Whatever it may be, something that if we're like, hey, write a fucking paper on this subject of the paranormal or an unexplained phenomenon, what would you fucking pick that would be most interesting for you?
Oh, I've got two answers right off the bat.
Yeah.
One, those big dark spots that move across the ocean, like it's unexplainable, no one knows what it is. And the human imagination, because when you think, you're not really thinking, you're using your imagination, and you're putting it through a cognitive process that makes you 100% realistically, like simulate situations that have played before in your brain. But when you think about it, how are you actually able to see the things you're thinking about in your brain? And
Uh,
no one can explain that.
yeah. So consciousness and like what's happening is very, very complex. So like we can, yeah, like you said, imagine imaginary things and shit like that. A lot of things like with your eyes that I didn't realize. Your eyes and your brain can make you see things. They put things together sometimes if you don't have a clear sight of something, and it
Yeah.
might be
Hmm.
correct. You know what I'm saying? And that's all done without you knowing. So sometimes you
Right.
can pull a memory back and think it's something when it's not, and so on and so forth. So like some people's memories aren't good. Some people's memories are really good, and So it's really hard to say, but I mean, when we do talk about aliens and all this other shit, there's like so many different fucking things that could, I mean, not really explain it, but you could theorize all fucking day about,
Yeah.
is Bigfoot an actual animal that lives on this planet, or is he more of a multi-dimensional person, or
Right.
creature that can travel between? That's why. And like, I've been watching Skinwalker Ranch lately, which is like a fucking show about the Skinwalker Ranch out in I think it's Utah or something. And they're figuring out where they think the ranch is on this plane, right, of where they think there's a dip in gravitational pull. They think it may be some sort of dimensional portal, and they're seeing things there sometimes, and they have mutilations out there and shit like that. And
Mhm.
people have said they've seen weird shit, like what are they, like pterodactyls, right? So they just talking about this, seeing something that were like pterodactyls in a tree at nighttime, and somebody shot one down. And when they hit the ground, they disappeared, like in a video game. And it disappeared just into the ground, and they're like, "What the fuck?" And they go back the next day to find if there's any footprints or anything, and all they find is this one or two like prints in the thing that looked like it. The guy said it looked like a raptor's foot with a big claw on one end of it, and like this looked like a print, like a bird shit. He's like,
The
"What is
big
it?"
ass eagle.
Cool.
And so then they're like, well, this one guy who lived on the ranch for like 20 years, when the guy from Bigelow Airspace owned it and was doing research out there with the SIDS, I think is what it's called, or NIDS, and I can't remember, NIDS maybe. They were researching, and this guy, that was his theory. He said this has got to be a portal for a multi-dimensional thing, and sometimes the dimensions they cross paths, and for a time you can see things and they can see things, and it's almost like they're there in real time, or a real person, but they're really not. And
And then
getting really fucking interesting, when you start thinking about that, because one of the lead guys in the show is a world-renowned astrophysicist. Like, so he's taking it like from that point of view. He's trying to be completely scientific about it, and he's all saying, these things are plausible and feasible, and he's never seen anything like their fucking phones, bro. They were holding their phones up. It was freaking out. It was clicking on everything. It was flashing. He was just holding it like this, and it was going on the phone. And it was sending messages. It was going into the email. It was like doing everything like on the phone. And he's like, I don't know what's going on. And then I'm like, that's weird. And then like a few episodes later, it happened with someone else's fucking phone, right? And I'm like, Jesus, what's going on? So like, just weird shit. And then the radiation spikes that they have. So like, I'm kind of a believer in that multi-dimensional theory or whatever,
yeah,
more than anything else, to kind of explain a lot of
Multiverse.
yeah, like we're seeing Bigfoot, we're seeing ghosts, we're seeing weird shit, UFOs, aliens, whatever, right? I think maybe it's not necessarily like traveling out of this galaxy, right? It's just happening here in multiple layers of
yeah.
forces that are
Only
interlinked.
thing about that is you have to exactly know and be able to articulate what you're believing, because there's a lot of very similar theories like the multiple Earth theory, reality shifting theory, bunch of stuff like that. That's just complete nonsense.
Right.
It's
No.
like reality shifting is like, oh, yeah, I want to do this. If I just like completely clear my mental space, I'm going to shift out of this dimension for a short period of time. Like, no, you're just getting tired, falling asleep, and having some weird dreams.
Mhm.
Debunked. Multiple Earth theory, where it's like every decision you make like splits off and makes another version of the world, where you've made every single same decision up to that moment and chose something else.
Mhm.
Like, it doesn't make sense. When you ask someone to try and explain it to you, they can't even get more than a couple words in without being like, I never thought about this. This is kind of whack, actually.
Yeah. There is so many, like you said, theories that can come out, but like I said, I'm not going to really stick to like get too specific. I just think something with multi dimensions is going on, and
Yeah, that's kind of the
it
vibe I'm
would be
getting
like,
from that too.
I think it would just be the easiest way to explain a lot of the phenomenon and the weird shit that we see without having to explain each and every one. You know what I'm saying? It'd be like, all right,
Mhm.
look, it's kind of like they're happening in different dimensions, and we're seeing them once in a while, and that's why we can't fucking find them, we can't catch it, blah blah blah, and why we we do with some things here and there, but I mean, you never really get what you're actually fucking looking for. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I just think it could explain a lot for me personally, and I'm not like super into each of the intricate details like you were talking about. Well, fucking multiple Earths and blah blah blah. I mean, but if you're talking multiple dimensions, then technically, I mean, there's probably multiple Earths, right? So, I mean, it's really hard to break down, but I like to generalize it and just put it in a multiverse kind of idea. I feel like, and it's like the cop out. It's like the easiest way to do it, like that's how it all can be explained. Um, but yeah, so top five. I'm gonna do a top five with you, and you're gonna have to do a top five um artists, because this is always a great one.
Any genre or
Yeah,
just hip hop?
no, like
You
any
define it.
you define. It can be fucking Van Gogh and Picasso. If they're an artist and they make art,
All right, it's
you
definitely
make it
not going
great.
to be in any specific order.
Yeah.
Um, Logic, starting off real good here. Um, let's see, I definitely, I'm gonna get it out the way and say Hero the MC.
Well, obviously.
Shouts the hero.
Um, I want to say, Tupac or Biggie. Jay-Z. So that's what, like, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
And then I'm very inclined to name like a pop punk band, because I draw a lot of inspiration from that as well, and have constantly some sort of pop punk in my ears, in rotation with all the other hip hop stuff I listen to.
So what is it?
I'm gonna have to say Machine Gun Kelly on that one,
Okay. But I mean, he's a
but
rapper.
just specifically 2 of his albums.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be Tickets to My Downfall and Hotel Diablo.
Okay.
That's it. Any of his other stuff,
Really? You don't like it? None of it.
some of it is okay, but
The,
if I have to like specifically define it, that's what I'm saying. Because nothing is comparable to that level.
the album was called there was an album called Bloom, I think, in 2017. That had some dope ass shit on there. Golden God, Trap Paris with Quavo and Ty Dolla $ign, and that had that Bad Thing song that you talked about earlier with
Yep.
Cabello. And The Gunner. There was like 5 or 6 songs on that album that I would just put on fucking repeat.
Now, as songs themselves, yes, that's good. It's a very fair point. But I'm looking at it from a perspective as an album as a whole.
Yeah.
So like these 2 albums, they kind of have
Do
like
it all the way through.
underlying stories if you can
Yeah.
sit and listen to it all the way through. Whereas albums like that is kind of just like he was kind of going for a theme, but like somewhere along the line he just dropped the ball
Yeah.
and kind of threw together an album. Like it's still music nonetheless, and I'll listen to it, but I'm a person who likes to listen to albums like beginning to end.
Hell yeah. I do enjoy that, but it hardly happens these days. Used to be really easy to get an album back in the 90s, even the early 2000s, I think a few, but since then it's just been a lot of singles and EPs, and I don't know, it's really hard like to find a full album to sit there and just fucking listen all the way through.
Anything
I think
by
that's-
Pink Floyd I can sit and listen to front to
Oh
end.
yeah,
Right.
Pink Floyd.
Right. Yeah.
So last week we had a top 5 that I thought was pretty interesting. We hadn't done it before. Horror movies.
Horror movies.
Yeah.
I haven't watched a lot of horror movies, but I can definitely say Alien. I can say Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th.
The original, the first one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Old school ones, right? Because the new ones, I mean, they're okay, but I don't think they compare really.
Um, there was a Stephen King one that I watched that was pretty good. Um, and it was more, I think it was called like The Dark Tower or something. And it
Yeah,
wasn't as much as like in your face horror the way like it might be. It was more like that psychological horror type thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and other than that, for a fifth one, it'd be hard to say because there's a lot of cool stuff out there, but nothing really that I would have in a top five.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I forgot real quick that on the topic of Machine Gun Kelly,
Yeah.
got it on vinyl the other day.
Oh yeah, I remember you posted that, and I was just like, "That's kind of random," but yeah, now I get it. I was
That's
like,
kind
"Why?"
of random.
Yeah, I was like, "Why the fuck does that matter on vinyl?" But yeah, I mean, you're spinning with vinyl now, and you like that album, so it makes sense. I was just like,
Yeah,
maybe you get a lot of requests for that. Like, look at this, but
I
no, I
actually
mean,
have had people like request to do certain like flips and cuts off of songs from there. But I need to get a second copy before anything because funny story, I went to the store. The copy that I had on hold, he sold. So he was like, I think I have another one in the back. Let me go check. He goes and gets it for me. Just got a sticker on it, $25, and I know what I'm looking at. It's the limited print black marble edition of it. Only like 2,000 were made or something.
okay,
And I was looking at that and I was like, I'm fine with this. So that's gonna be like a listening copy, and then I'll get like a scratch copy because I know if I plop that one on there, I'm like my nail's gonna dig into it or something.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
you
not
don't want
trying
to
to deal with
scratch that
that.
one up.
you don't want to scratch it up too much. I'm gonna keep that one away.
Yeah,
Uh,
but I've definitely got a list of stuff I want to get.
I'm sure you got a fucking giant list, like most of us do.
It's actually not that big. Um, it's just stuff I know for sure I want to get, and then yeah, there's stuff that's like, oh, if I see it, I'll pick it up. But there's only like a handful of definites that I have.
So what are some of your favorite non-musical hobbies? Like, what do you do that's not music related?
Besides skateboarding in video games, I love graphic design.
Mm-hmm.
I have obviously my own small business aside from doing the bar stuff, where I'll do like custom T-shirts and hats and stuff like that. Just because I enjoy doing it. I've always been like the artistic type, never been one to go out and do sports.
Yeah.
That wasn't until I first put my feet on a skateboard, because once I took the time to learn a little bit about it, I learned that it was really the most artistic sport because it's so free form with everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's why I really took to it. And other than that, I enjoy just picking up my butterfly knife and, spinning and flipping that every single possible way that I know how.
Fidget spinner.
You say that, and I have one that's got dragon heads on it instead of like the regular rounded bits.
I had some. I had some brass knuckles that were spiked and had a dragon on it back in the day.
That's cool.
I ended up breaking it off in somebody's face. They were spiked, dude. On each one of the knuckles, you had a boom, 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 right? And it was like a dragon that went across the top. And just so happened to have it one day, and this kid ran up on me and fucking started try to fight me, and I just had it in my pocket, and I just nailed him with it, and it broke all on my hand and shit. And he had pieces of it sticking out of his head, and he jumped back in his car. He went back to the school, and everybody's like, "Dude, you got shit sticking out of your head." So the cops came, and they were like, "What happened?" I said, "Well, I was walking down the street, and he drove up and jumped out and started trying to fight with me." And they're like, "Did you hit him with something?" I said, "No, I didn't have nothing." They're like, "Okay," and they checked me. I have nothing because I tossed that shit, you know. But there was a fucking mail lady who saw the whole thing go down. So they had her as a witness that she came over and said, yeah, the kid in the blue truck jumped out and ran at the other kid, and the other kid laid him down. And he got back in his truck and drove off. And the guy was like, okay. And he said, you're free to go. And I was like, see ya. Bounced out.
Nice.
Yeah, that
That's
was
cool.
many years ago. But that kid, he went apeshit after that. And I saw him like 3 years later at a fucking party. And he was like, bro, we're cool, man. I'm like, yeah, I know we're cool, dude. And he's like, what did you hit me with? Let's be real. And I'm like, spike brass knuckles, dumbass. And he's just like, oh, yeah, that'll do it. And I'm like, yeah, that's why you don't run up on people when you don't know what's going down with them. And he's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
If you would have had a piece on you, instantly
Anything, dude.
flatten the streets.
Yeah, just anything. And like, yeah, but after that, we were cool. But the thing about that whole situation, and it's hilarious, is he got the shit kicked out of him, right? And he got brass knuckles all in his face, but he wanted to go in the military. And they didn't want that charge, right? That charge to be on his record. So his lawyer hit me and my mother up, and they're like, we're willing to offer you $1,000 to fucking drop the charges. And I was like, all right. Took
Money in hand.
Yeah, exactly. Went to the fucking
out.
lawyer's office and got money for that. And that, to me, was the most hilarious shit. He hopped out, tried to kick my ass. I beat the fuck out of him with brass knuckles
And got $100,000 for it.
and got some money out of it, right? My mother was
Nice.
blown away. She's like, this is that kid that you kicked his ass and he's paying you? I'm like, yeah, I just got paid to kick his ass. And she's just like, fucking crazy. So, yeah, that was fucking hilarious. I think I was like 17 or 18 when that fucking went down. I think I had just graduated like 2 months prior to that. That's a funny story when we talk about weaponry and shit like that, and knives and shit. I never was really big into knives or anything like that, or brass knuckles. Like I just happened, some kid gave them to me. The kid he was from Thailand. His parents owned a Thai restaurant, and I was like, "Oh, those brass knuckles are fucking sweet." I said to him one time, and he's like, "Oh, dime a dozen where I come from. You want them?" I'm like, "Yeah, bro, fucking gave them to me." And I was like, "They came in handy." But I
If
like
only they weren't illegal.
I like tasers. That's my fucking thing. You know, to pull the taser on, and just go clack, 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 clack. People fucking look when they hear that fucking sound. Whoa, what the fuck is that? You know,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
taser, you stick it in your stick right on your neck. I'm just waiting for my opportunity.
Or
Bacon.
someone tried to hit me with one of those like tennis racket things. That's like a low volt taser for the bugs.
Swat the bugs with it.
Yeah, he went to go hit me with it. I took it out of his hand and I just waffled it to his face.
Oh my god, that's
He just walked out of his house and he was like, "Yo, you got money on you?" I'm like, "I got like $2 or $3. Why? You need it?" And he was like, "You trying to sauce it?" I'm like, no, my money. Like, unless you desperately need it, I'm not willing to sauce it. So he goes, "All right, then have it your way." Pulls this thing out and runs down his steps after me. And I was like, "All right, bet you trying to throw hands? I'll throw hands." And he went to go hit me with it. I grabbed it by the handle, waffled it to his face, sent him home. His face looked like a waffle, fam.
Get back in there. I'm keeping this. Did you keep the thing at least?
No, I didn't.
No.
I snapped it over his neck.
Yeah, I would have kept that for like.
I pressed it to his face so hard the handle snapped.
He'll call you in a few months for $1,000.
Oh no, that was a couple of years ago. I would have gotten my money by now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not trying to go in the military. But yeah, that was hilarious, man. That situation right there was just fucking hilarious. I mean, he got some shots in him. I'm not gonna lie, but I mean, in the evidence, I didn't have a broken nothing. I wasn't bleeding. He was just dripping.
And in the end, you made out with $1,000. So
Yeah, and that was like the fucking dirt in the face. And then after he had done his time in the military, when he came back from doing that, what was it, 2 years before he finally came back, he was at a party that I was at, and that's when he was like, you know, we're cool, bro. And I'm like, yeah, I know we're fucking cool, you know, like, and then that whole shit went down, and it was like, he realized then that he fucked up because like I had brass knuckles and he knew I had something, but he couldn't prove it. Like the pieces they pulled out of him, they're like, these look like they couldn't tell what it was. Still pieces of brass. They're like, what is this? And I'm like, I don't know. We fell in somebody's yard. There was like 3 to 4 inches of snow and we were rolling around in the snow. I don't know. Maybe he hit somebody's fence or some shit. And they're like, yeah, I don't know. We can't explain it. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know either. they went and looked, and they're like, "This is where it happened. We didn't find nothing." I'm like, "Yeah, move on." And then he was just like, "That was crazy." He's like, he had been drinking that day. I think that was the problem. He was into drinking and still in high school, so he was just like, he didn't feel anything because he was fucking hammered drunk.
Mm-hmm.
So when he went to the school and he was bleeding down his face and he was telling everybody he kicked my ass, they were like, "Well, you kicked his ass, and what the fuck does he look like?" And when I showed up at the school, everybody coming out saying he was inside saying he kicked my ass, and I said, "Well, look at me and look at him. What does it look like?" And then just like, "It looks like you fucking almost killed him." I'm like, "Yeah, well, that's what happens when you fuck around." And it was just hilarious. It was something like we were joking about that for like fucking years, dude. And then I see him, he's like, "We're cool," and then like he wanted to be my friend, But yeah, things we do when we're young and stupid is always a good random discussion.
Yeah. People try to get me to go out to parties all the time, but
well, yeah, I mean, when you got something going on, that's more important than that.
It's not even that. It's just the fact it's like, what is this gonna do for me? Like, yeah, I'm gonna go out and have fun. Like, if it were just a normal party, I'd be down anytime, anywhere. But the fact that I know someone's gonna show up with like a handle of something, or like a gram of weed, or like some form of drug, and it's like, what is it really gonna do for me?
Yeah.
Like, because I'm gonna be that one person that's chilling in the corner with like a root beer, being like, "Nah, I'm good."
So right now is our, speaking of drugs and illegal substances, smoke break time. Brought to you by
I'm not 21 yet.
By Fire on 4. So I'm just gonna play. Actually, I was gonna pull up Chemic's song real quick and just play that while I take a couple hits off the pen.
I don't got too much more time on with y'all because I gotta get up hella early tomorrow for school.
I know that you do, so I'm just gonna play this Chemic song so that we can get that out of the way. I'm gonna go to the YouTube. I think I can play it off there.
Oh, I just got Apple Music today. I'm guess.
How's that working out for you though?
It doesn't have as much as Spotify does, and it's definitely a different whole interface and all that. But it was free, so
yeah. All right, so let me share the screen real quick, and we'll listen to the Chemic track that you produce, which is called what? "Feed Me to the Wolves," right?
Yep.
Okay. And so I should be sharing that. Let's get rid of this. And so this dropped this morning. I think I saw it like 7 something this morning.
Yeah, it was like 8 in the morning when I woke up or whatever. She had just posted that it came out.
And also, this has been played a couple times on some other streams that we do here.
Whooshy Gang podcast. Yeah. And I think it might have been played on the Wednesday show. I'm not sure.
Yeah. So let's play it and give a listen to the this track that was produced by Cam.
So I'm eating up the scraps, running laps around these rappers, it's been hurting my feet. Feed me to the wolves and I'm coming out, leading the pack, no turning back, I'm a certified beast. My stomach's never full, so I'm eating up the scraps, running laps around these rappers, it's been hurting my feet.
I'll do it and do it again, I said what I said and I meant it. You cannot fuck with my bread, I swear to God you ever dead. Wish let it all go to your head, I guess that you would rather have some shoes and clothes, designer bag, Versace, Gucci robes. I'd rather jump inside the booth and show what the smoothest rapper ever truly flows. Black sheep return wolf, had to face all my demons, whoa. I done shaved off my wall, yeah. I'm reclaiming my freedom, I don't got time for comparisons. Nobody be on my level, this shit is embarrassing. Get me a shovel, I'm digging up skeletons. Been through the struggle, this shit is my medicine, whoa. You could be in my circle, and still not be in my corner. Man, these haters be lurking. What's a fan or what's a supporter? What's it like to be a rapper? Fuck that, I'm a performer. Don't want your 2 cents, I need the cash. I've been a buck like 4 quarters.
Feed me to the wolves and I'm coming out, leading the pack, no turning back, I'm a certified beast. My stomach's never full, so I'm eating up the scraps, running laps around these rappers. It's been hurting my feet. Feed me to the wolves and I'm coming out, leading the pack, no turning back. I'm a certified beast. My stomach's never full, so I'm eating up the scraps, running laps around these rappers. It's been hurting my feet.
The mind of the pack is the wolf. The strength of the wolf is the pack, and I don't never lack. I got my team right behind me, they always watching my back. The underdog, and I beat the odds. I'm knocking into you, see the jaws. I'm blocking hits till my demon's gone. I'm a Boston bitch, I don't need a boss. It is what it is, I am who I am. I'm bigger than this, I managed the plan. I'm flipping the scripts, I handle the fans. So if you come up to me after a show, like, whoa, I need me some bands in my hand. Like, damn, I need me a family plan. A man, like, yes, goddammit, I am. This is the law of the jungle, as old and as true as the sky. The wolf that'll keep it may prosper, but the wolf that'll break it must die. I always stay loyal to those who deserve it, protecting, defending my pack is my purpose. The instinct to fight, but deep under the surface, I'm shedding some light who I am as a person. I die for my family, I take a bullet, so pull it. You couldn't, I'm one of a kind. I guess I'm just that kind of woman. I'm pushing through anything coming my way. I'm a grind. I'm proud of myself, and like never before, I've been having some urges to settle the score. So I'm lighting the furnace and getting the torches of fire to everything, letting it scorch.
Feed me to the wolves and I'm coming out, leading the pack, no turning back. I'm a certified beast. My stomach's never full, so I'm eating up the scraps, running laps around these rappers. It's been hurting my feet. Feed me to the wolves and I'm coming out, leading the pack, no turning back. I'm a certified beast. My stomach's never full, so I'm eating up the scraps, running laps around these rappers. It's been hurting my feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you know, a little taste of what Cam is producing and stuff like that, and obviously having Chemic on your beats is a good way to get kind of started. You know what I'm saying? That's
Mhm.
a good way to break into it and shit like that. So I know you got to go. I got one last segment I wanted to discuss with you before you go. So this is the
Yep.
last segment for you. So we always want to ask everybody who comes on here, especially if you're going to leave early. I'm jumping right into it. I want to talk about live shows and rapping over backing vocals or no. Go.
No.
No. All right. And then I want to show you something real quick that I just got a message from Hero. Literally, as we're about to start discussing this, he sent me some a design right for a shirt or something. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but this is it. And
The
I know,
Gangstar Dad shirt, the red one.
no, this is the one, and you can see it says bars over bars in the front, and on the back it says no backing vocals. So
Dope.
I think that you can tell kind of where our where we sit with this fucking discussions. We're always on that side. Of course, there's sometimes where a hook or something might need a little bit of something, but for the most part, I think the live performance should be sort of like a unique thing every time. And
I
so that
agree with you.
yeah.
But
And
I feel like sometimes it should be given a pass. Like we had a guy, he used to be called Penny the Goat, but he's called Sanjay now. He had a couple tracks that he was doing, but he left a couple like little pieces of the track vocal in
I know Sanjay.
because yeah, he was like absolutely going in, and with the way he was like bopping and jumping around and stuff, he wouldn't have been able to have the lung capacity to do it. So it's like I kind of give it a little bit of a pass there. But if your whole song has backing vocals, it's like
Right.
I'm gonna
I
mess with you and just flick the
Sanjay
volume off for a
before, though,
second.
at
And
one of the new Bedford throwdowns or whatever that you guys do. He was on one of those. Like,
yeah, that's why I specifically mentioned it, because I remember doing that.
yeah, he had some backing vocals on there. But that song in particular was very fast and like you were saying, it's trying to move around, and the way he performs is he's fucking everywhere. So I guess I kind of understand in certain situations, but in a small venue like that, like you guys were in, you should be able to handle that just all by yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Even if it's
and
tough.
it
But
wasn't the
when
whole
it gets bigger,
song,
it
which
is
is
hard.
why I give it the pass.
Right.
Like it was like maybe like a 10-second clip or something. So
Yeah.
it's like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, no, that's understandable. But when you're trying to do like your whole fucking show and you're rapping over just right over the top of your own vocals and shit, that just becomes really fucking annoying.
Like you should have your stuff down. to the point where you can do it without the backing
Right,
vocals.
or have a fucking hype man too, so you can catch your breath on certain shit. You know what I mean? And then you guys have practiced the fucking set, and you know exactly when they're gonna speak, and you're not, and you just. I like that whole
I did
aspect.
that with Hero at the last one.
Yeah, and
I
that's
hype
something
man
I
a little
love.
bit.
Yeah, exactly. I think everybody should have that experience, if not every single time, like as often as they can fucking do it, because it does give that. It's authentic hip hop, really, because it's
Hmm.
always the thing. You know what I'm saying? You have a hype man. I
You
mean,
don't find that as much anymore, though.
yeah, exactly. But I mean, I feel like we should start trying to bring it back for everything. You know what I mean? I was
Dude,
talking here about
if
that. We
someone
should bring
sends
it
me
back.
music and I preview it and I really like it, I'll try to learn some of the lyrics so that when they
Uh-huh.
go to say it, I'll have my mic right there, and then
Yeah,
I just pick it up
like
and put it
Nick
back
Lovett's
down.
really good at that when he does hero shit. Like he was really good
Mhm.
at that too. And yeah, you should be doing that. If there's nobody out there doing it, fuck yeah. You know what I mean? Keep the fucking shit going. Uh, you got more regular spots that you're doing DJing at too, right now? Are you doing more
Um,
regular stuff that's not like related to bars over bars at that spot or what?
um, with the guy that owns that spot, I am gonna have a regular show that I do for the next couple of months,
Yeah.
with him at a different venue, and then some artists that we've had at the New Bedford Breakdown hit me up on like Snapchat or Insta, being
Yeah.
like, if I need you to DJ my set, are you down? I'll slide you some bread.
Hmm.
I'm like, of course. Like,
Yeah. So that's good.
if you've worked with us at Bars Over Bars, I've got no problem working with you outside of it.
Hell yeah. So real quick before you go, shout out anybody you want to shout out. Let people know where they can find your beats and shit like that one last time. And
Um,
yeah,
all right, so you can find all of my stuff at Vincentenced Music. I believe it's spelled right on the flyer. If you guys
it's on the screen too
know,
right now, I think.
yep, it is. So we have that. YouTube, SoundCloud should be all the same. I'm gonna be releasing more stuff as soon as I get that graphic done.
Yep.
Obviously, you've just listened to my song with Chemic.
Mhm.
You just search that up on like Instagram, Facebook. I'm on there. Hit me up, add me. I'm always down to talk with whoever.
Yeah, hit them up
Um,
to get some beats into work. And if you're looking for a
DJ
DJ
stuff, graphic
you're down
design,
in
custom like
New
clothing.
Bedford area, definitely hit them up. Because yeah, you pick up new tables yet, or you're about to? You got some in mind?
Um, I have the ones that I have now,
Yeah,
and then I'm just gonna get that vinyl record one.
yeah,
I did just drop a bit of money on driving classes, so
right.
it's gonna be a minute.
It's gonna be a minute, but you're set up to just basically you can DJ for anybody if they hit you up.
Yeah, I've got enough everything.
That's a good way
Um,
to get your name out there and to make money at the same time too. So, and
yeah, shout out
it's
Bars for
something. Yeah, it's
Bars.
not something that's
Shout out
easy.
you guys for having me on here.
Yeah, of course.
No doubt.
Yeah, man.
Anytime you want me to come back, I'm definitely down.
Yeah, hell yeah. You fucking get some rest to get back to the school grind or whatever. And
Honestly, I'm legit showing up to school to look at a computer screen and draw some lines all day. I take architecture classes and mechanical design. It quite literally is, oh, computer screen, lines, make them red, place it here, done.
yeah, you need a rest for that.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. And it totally makes no difference that the teacher doesn't care if we sleep.
Oh, that's good. I like classes like that.
Because, like, we have this one kid that he literally only shows up just to get his attendance in because he doesn't need to pass any of his classes this year. So he literally stays up all night,
Mhm.
smoking, drinking, doing whatever. He comes in the next day and he sleeps.
Perfect.
He's like, "Oh, we're going to lunch now. I don't know. All right, bet." He goes to lunch, comes back
Sounds
to
like
class, goes back to
like
bed.
my senior year. I missed like 3 weeks straight. Still graduated on time. I never even showed up to school for 3 weeks. Teacher was like, "Where you been?" When I finally showed back up, I was like,
Didn't
"Partying
feel
or
like it.
bullshit." I was there for like 3 weeks straight. He's like, "Wow, that must be fun."
Um, Shout out Solstice Skateboarding. they've been carrying all kinds of stuff that I've been using from them. So if you're in the New Bedford area anytime and you need like some like cool like local clothing, or you're looking to get some skate stuff or like skate style shoes, definitely hop down there.
Oh hell yeah! Not
And if you're a
sponsored by them, but
stickerhead,
definitely fucking hit them up.
or if you're a stickerhead, they got mad stickers down there.
Yeah, don't forget
I know the owners, so
this episode is
helping them out a
sponsored by
little.
What's Happening in Boston as well. You got to check them out for events and shit. And they
Of
always share
course.
when we have events. So they actually post a lot of good shit in around the Boston and Massachusetts area. So
Hmm.
if you're looking
Love
for
them over
shit,
there at What's Happening in Boston.
and yeah, fucking hit them up. They're on
Up in
Instagram.
Boston.
Yeah, and yeah, man, just play it safe, and we'll see you on the flip side. I'm coming down to New Bedford on Wednesday and Thursday. So
This week,
yeah, this week I'm going to
I
see.
believe I'm working Thursday if you want to pop by.
So yeah, if you got free ice cream for me, then yes.
Um,
If it's
Definitely
discounted,
not going to be
still maybe.
free, but what I'll do is I'll just take some cash out of my tip cup and pay for it.
Nah, man, I'm just fucking with you. But seriously, take it easy, man, and we'll catch you Tuesday
Yep.
on your show, man.
Peace.
Later.
Good
Of
seeing you, Cam.
I'll be in the group chat with you, OB. So if you
course.
need anything, text me.
All right, bro.
All right. Keep it safe, y'all.
Later.
Peace.
Oh yeah. So Cam. Ooh, what's this camera thing?
Whoa.
All right. Wait.
Yeah, I mean, kid's got a bright future. He's only 16, so shit.
Right. Yeah, he just does a lot of stuff, still trying to find his way,
Yeah.
with what he really is gonna stick to, which is what we all do, right?
Yep.
So I wanted to talk more about the strange shit.
Mm-hmm.
And there was something else that I left out of the oh yeah, so so there's a psychedelic fungus, right? That's causing what is it? Cicadas, right?
Cicadas, yeah. The
Yeah.
locusts.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
cicadas. It causes their asses to fall off and the fungus takes their place, basically is what happens. So fascinating.
Fungas.
Yeah,
It's a fungas
exactly.
now.
So fascinating or terrifying times are approaching in several U.S. states. It's already underway. Brood X cicadas are about to emerge from the ground. Brood X is a brood of periodical cicadas in America. They spend 17 years underground as nymphs before they emerge as adults to mate. They don't live for very long once they emerge either. So there's a total of 15 broods, right? Brood X is the largest by far. It means billions upon billions of them are about to take flight and blacken the skies. But what the insects don't realize is that their butts and themselves are in mortal danger. So there's a fungus called Massospora cicadana, right? It's a little funky fungus with parasites. It has gruesome results.
Huh.
So it's mind controlling fungus like we've seen before in those ants. I don't know if you've seen that years
Yeah,
ago.
the zombie ants.
Yeah, zombie
Yep.
ants. It's basically like that, but the spores, they make their way inside the body of the cicada through food or air. The fungus starts eating away at the insides, munching on its tissues till its abdomen cracks, and then that's when its fucking ass falls clean right off. Uh, this is the fungus golden opportunity. It grows a white chunk of spores and deposits it in the place of the missing badonkadonk. Don't feel sorry for the cicada, though. It hasn't even noticed that any of this happened, because it's high out of its skull. So it produces the same chemical, this Massospora. It's the same chemical that magic mushrooms do, called psilocybin, right?
Holy shit.
So these bugs are high as shit as they're getting eaten alive by this shit.
Huh. They're
But
tripping
why
balls and they got no ass.
exactly? So why would the fungus do this? You ask. Well, for the same reason the cicadas emerge from the ground, for reproduction. So it doesn't understand that it's infected. It goes about its usual mating behavior. So, of course, without genitals, it can't carry on its lineage, but the fungus can. Basically,
Yeah.
it's a fungal STD. So yeah, but they engage in normal courtship behavior, but their abdomen is a big fungal mass. Instead, the attempted copulation results in spreading the fungus even more. So it mates with all these fucking things, and they just become infected with the fungus, and then they die too.
Yeah, yeah.
So crazy fucking weird shit goes on, and
Lucifer asked, if you eat the bug, do you get high? Probably not, huh?
that answer to that question is not in the article.
Not that
But-
you want to fucking eat this fungus fucking thing and have
Right,
your
I'd
own ass fall off.
rather just eat the mushroom as it is, right out of the cow shit.
Right.
You know, call it good. What about them talking about now that NASA may have accidentally brought life to Mars by sending our rovers and shit out there?
Yeah, I mean, it's possible with the fucking bacteria and shit that's on
Microbes.
those rovers from
Right.
from
They
our
say
planet.
that they build these rovers in clean rooms inside these places that are supposed to be completely clean. But scientists have come forward to say that microbes could potentially still hitchhike their way to Mars even after radiation and sterilization procedures.
Mhm.
They're learning more and more about this now than the first time that they sent stuff out to Mars. They didn't know as much as they know now, I guess. So they're basically saying, hey, we found life on Mars 20 some odd years after we landed there. So that's kind of weird. But
Right.
now they first said, no, that can't happen. But now they're actually kind of doubling back and saying, you know what, it's possible. So we don't know for sure until they study more, obviously, if life on Mars was actually from there, you know?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, I'm trying to find this article. Tardigrades are microscopic fucking little organisms.
Yeah,
and recently they fired some out of a fucking gun and realized, oh shit, at these incredible speeds, 2,000 miles per hour, these things can survive.
Yeah, they survive a lot of shit.
And the tardigrades that crash landed on the moon in 2019 did not survive, but they're thinking like kind of similar, like this could be a way to terraform or send organisms to other places. At least tardigrades, like these little fucking microscopic bastards. But
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty fucking crazy.
We kind of talked about the people who got arrested for that mummy shit, the cult person.
Yeah, I missed that. Sorry.
Oh yeah, you were gone. So yeah, I knew that was in my head for a reason. All right, so 7 people got arrested after cops found cult leader's mummified corpse in a Colorado home. Right. So
Does it say what the fuck he died for? Like they usually have like this big plan, like the comet's coming, we got to drink this fucking juice.
Right. Veneration of dead saints is a feature of a vast majority of religions, but usually the saints' earthly remains aren't stored in a sleeping bag with Christmas lights wrapped around them. So that's how police discovered the body of Amy Carlson, 45, leader of Colorado-based cult called Love Has Won. Her followers knew her as their mother god. So the cops arrived at the home in Moffett, Colorado, after a report by one of the cult's members. The follower, who has not been charged with any crime, said he'd recently taken in a group of people who needed a place to stay. However, when he returned to his home on April 28th from a trip from Denver, he found a corpse in his house, and that's when the man decided it was time for law enforcement to step in. In the house, police had indeed found Carlson's lifeless body. When questioned, the cult's followers claimed the body belonged to a woman named Leah for unknown reasons. According to police, Carlson had already been dead for a good long while when they discovered her corpse. In fact, she had mummified. So the coroner,
Like on purpose? They mummified her on purpose?
I think maybe, but here they say the county coroner said that Carlson had died at least a month ago.
Ugh.
According to police affidavits, the Love Has Won members had wrapped Carlson's body in a sleeping bag. She'd been placed on a makeshift shrine decorated with Christmas lights. So the mummified remains appear to be set up in some type of shrine. What appears to glitter on her skin and makeup around her eyes, they said. So they had
they did her up.
So the actual cause of death is still under investigation. However, it is known that she was suffering from cancer. So
Okay.
a corpse card. So when she was still alive, Carlson's last location had been California. Police believe her followers transported her dead corpse to Colorado after they secured their lodging. They came to the conclusion after investigating a Nissan Rogue parked at the property. The cops said the backseat had been set to a position consistent with someone transporting the mummified remains. Don't ask me how they came to that conclusion, but maybe it was just laid down. I don't know.
The only person that would fit back here is a mummy.
Yeah, exactly. I think the only thing could be transported with this seat down would be a mummy for sure. But yeah, 7 people who were at the house when police found the body, they were all arrested. They said that they're being held under suspicion of desecrating a corpse and child abuse. Police also picked up 2 children at property, a 13-year-old girl and a 2-year-old boy. The boy, son of a man who reported the corpse, has been returned to his home, while the girl has been placed in the care of social services. So kids are taken care of. All right. So Love Has Won themselves reported on their now defunct Facebook page on April 2nd that their mother god had left the mortal realm. However, they just don't believe that she died. She did not pass away. She ascended. Her essence left the body of Amy Carlson at 12:22 on April 2nd. She is indeed happy now, a woman called Bobby said on a now deleted Facebook video. So they say Carlson ascended to the 5th dimension. She supposedly predicted for years that this would happen. So the Love Has Won cult's beliefs are an outlandish mix of Christianity, Hopi Native American religion, New Age faith, historical myths, and conspiracy theories. According to them, Carlson's mission on Earth was nothing less than to save humanity.
She did a great job.
Yeah. However, as these things usually go, there's a darker side to Love Has Won. Families of cult members claim that Carlson was abusive towards her followers. The Saguchi County Sheriff's Office had received many complaints from families within the United States saying that the group is brainwashing people and stealing their money, just like most cults. So one of the groups
sounds about right.
Sounds cultish, yeah. One of the group's Facebook videos depicted a scenario of the claimed abuse. In it, Carlson lays in an expletive-laden tirade upon a member who had the gall to serve her meatballs instead of chicken parm.
Oh, how dare they?
In 2020,
He's a god. They didn't know that.
The group managed to even cause a small riot in Hawaii. Due to Carlson's progressing cancer, they relocated to the island of Kauai to get her some healthy island air. However, it didn't take long before the cult started rubbing locals the wrong way. The members broke COVID-19 quarantine with trips to the beach. They wouldn't wear masks. They tried to score free food from local food banks. Local residents started protesting outside the cult's rented house. But the camel's back broke when Carlson claimed to be Pele, the Hawaiian goddess of fire and the creator of the islands. It was highly offensive to the whole Hawaii kingdom. It was like a threat to us, said a local resident. The protests outside the cult's house got progressively more violent until the island's mayor said enough is enough on September 6, 2020. Police escorted all the members of Love Has Won to the airport with a one-way ticket off the island. And that's where the fucking, that's when it all started going downhill, because now it's April, May, and
right.
She's mummified. So,
well, shit.
So a lot of weird shit, and Lucifer saying they can live forever. So if tardigrades can live forever, we need to figure out how they do that. I think that's what science is trying to do right now. Yeah, they're trying to figure out what is it. They have like a unique blood, I think they were talking about. Makes me want to look it up, but for some reason we're studying them now to see if we're able to extend our own lives somehow by using those same techniques that they use, and how they can live in space, in the vacuum of space, or without oxygen and shit like that for extended periods. It's because I think, if I'm remembering, in weird nerdy science shit I usually tend to remember, I think that they can slow their entire metabolism right down to almost nothing.
Like
which allows them to,
or something.
Yeah, exactly. Which kind of allows them to go into like a fucking hibernation or stasis or something like that, where they don't need to eat, they don't need to even breathe anything for years and years on end. So, and yeah, they don't really die unless they are, maybe stuck out in space, and eventually they probably will. But if they could travel huge distances before needing to fucking need anything, which I think would be crucial if we're actually trying to travel far distances in space. How do we do it without, that might be a key to it. So tardigrades are a fucking cool thing that we're starting to talk more about. They look fucking ugly and disgusting, but we can figure out how to I don't want to say live forever, but live longer.
Oh, I mean, if we can study the DNA of this makeup and figure out what is it in the DNA, and we got
Yeah.
the CRISPR tool where we're able to snip pieces of DNA and fucking, fuck around with this and like create, a modified version of, some sort of animal like a fucking chicken that can live forever or whatever, and we fucking shoot that into space, study it
Yeah. Well,
for
the
as
thing
long as
about
we can,
they're like they can live whatever. They're super tough, but they can't survive a trip through the human digestive tract. However, so our stomach acid disintegrates them with
Right.
no trouble. So like, and so that's the crazy part is like they can die like and not by hardly anything. But they're also super tough and super resilient at the same fucking time. So it's really crazy. And they're saying they're an invertebrate, and so they don't feel pain. They don't have like a brain, I don't think,
Right.
right? So tardigrades have a dorsal brain. That's what it says, a single dorsal nervous system. um, so I don't really know much about that. I just know it's not the same kind of brain that we have, so they just have like a
Yeah.
simplified thing. But um
They're
yeah,
called water bears or moss piglets.
yeah, and if you look at them and a real picture of them, like they look really weird. So yeah, extreme conditions, even space and ice and all that good shit. So
Yeah.
um good that we're studying them and finding out more about them, but like they can be brought back to life too if they're not like completely disintegrated and shit like that. So that's another cool thing.
Yep.
But yeah, I dropped before I went down, I don't know if last show we talked about it, but I dropped the Beat Report Volume 5 on the 14th of
Yeah.
May.
No, we didn't talk about it. We should have.
Yeah, we didn't. So talking
So
about
that's
it now.
out. Yep.
So yeah, I mean it's well, it's not like typical. I wouldn't call it most of it typical like hip hop shit, but it's like pop, kind of like trap pop, like just different
Mm.
things. I wanted to kind of have like a different sound and everything else. So
This is
it's
stuff
different.
you worked on recently.
Yeah,
Okay.
basically this year. So it's
Yeah.
come from basically January on. None of it was from 2020. So,
Right.
but it was it took a while because of everything else that I had going on, but it's finally out. And we ran into a problem. We ran into a problem with live resin on streaming because we used a beat from one of my beat tapes to make live resin, right?
Yeah.
And it was already out.
So it got flagged.
Yeah, so it got flagged.
Ain't that
And
some shit?
it's just something that we didn't think of when doing it. And so it got flagged. They said, well, it was already taken down by the time I had emailed Songtrader, and Songtrader's like, it got flagged for this reason. This beat is copywritten. And I'm like, do you see who owns the copyright?
Right.
It's me. It says my name right on it. And they're like, yeah, but that's not how the DSPs see it. Basically Spotify, Apple, and all them.
Yeah.
So it got flagged. They got an email from, I think they said Spotify, and that was the only one.
Yeah. It's the fucking algorithms, bro.
Yeah, and so they said it's been removed, and I was like, all right, so we'll just put it back up, and I'll, fill out whatever I need to fill out to make sure that we know that I'm giving permission to myself to use this beat. And they're like, yeah, no, we can't do that. They're like, once they flag that song through our distribution channel, you can't put it back out through us. So I'm like, oh, nice. So I had to go and switch over just sign up for another free fucking distribution company, which is called Track, and try to fucking distribute it through there. Since I already have the UPC and the IRSC codes from it being previously released, Songtrader was telling me that it should pick right back up where it was at. And if I provided Track with that information in the other notes, like when I was filling out the distribution thing, no one's got back to me, so I don't know. But I put it in there and I gave links to the Beat Report Volume 2, which is what it came off of.
Right.
And I said, this is my music, and I know that this is like probably mostly like handled by fucking computers. It seems like, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And not a real person, because a real person should notice that and be like, this is obviously this guy's beat. Like he made
Right.
it. Like you
Obese
could
the
figure
Prophet.
that out.
Obese the Prophet. Oh shit, it's the same guy.
Yeah. So, needless to say, they set a new release date for June 4th for that. So we'll see if that fucking comes out.
Okay.
If not, we're just gonna drop it on like SoundCloud, and I'll upload the music video when it's done on YouTube and shit like that. So, so we'll see what happens. That was a big fucking like big fuck you that happened like
Pain in
last
the ass. Yeah.
that I was just like not expecting, but we're working on that. So people who are listening to that and have stopped, you can't find it anywhere right now, and it should hopefully be back out on the 4th of June, which is just like, I don't know,
It's like 2 weeks.
Yeah, about 2 weeks away or so. So yeah, be looking for that, and yeah, I want to probably play something here off of YouTube that I wanted to play last week, but we had Shine, so because well, actually Libs just dropped a fucking a new single. So
oh shit! Shout out to Libsy.
Yeah, shout out to Libsy. This happened to drop on Friday, and we were kind of like busy with all kinds of shit. So if I can get to it here, I'll play it. All right, here we go. Yeah, so it's called Back of the Lack. All right, Back of the Lack, and I'll share my screen real quick.
Featuring Luda.
Share screen, window, Spotify, boom. All right, so Back of the Lack, bring it on the stream, and here we are. There you see it there to the left. Back of the Lack. It looks like backseat leather, all kind of old style.
Yeah.
And I have not heard this yet, because like I said, I've been busy with everything when I was down there, and I just got back, but I noticed this and I wanted to to listen, because I knew Cam would be out of here early. So here it is.
This is a Lucy Gang production.
Got a bad little shorty, she be riding in the back. Got a bad little shorty, she be riding in the back. Got a bad little shorty, she be riding in the back of the lack, sipping on some cognac. Fishbowl to whip, finna catch a contact. Drinks on me, so the liquor's on tap, and the party don't stop, homie. You just gotta send them to the back of the lack, sipping on some cognac. Fishbowl to whip, finna catch a contact. Drinks on me, so the liquor's on tap, and we party every night, and we never going back to the old ways. When I'd worry about my dinner, cold days, long nights, bodies getting thinner. Then I started grinding and I turned into a winner, and I never thanked the Lord because he never helped the sinner. I'm a general, homie, better check the Twitter. I'm the top dog, boy, you just another critter. I'm an old head making new cats bitter, cause they know I'm the shit, I been stinking up the litter. Hit me with the beat and I'm a killer, no discussion why you fussing when I grab the mic. Everybody bussin', if you think I'm falling off, you need to cut the rope and tussin'. I'm here to fuck the world up, even got the past to cussin'. I'ma feast on your whole roster at the table. If I ever get a deal, I'll be a monster at the label. I don't fuck with liars, I won't foster any fable. Choke you with the hawks, I'm a mobster with the cable. She got a booty like wobble-de-wobble. Going up on a Tuesday when I get to the taco. Pulling up to the show with her mans in a Tahoe. And by the end of the night, I got some precious cargo. Bad little shorty, she be riding in the back, and she hopped in the whip cause she know I got the pack. Ball in the VIP cause I know I got a stack. Headed back to the crib and you know the shorty riding in the back of the lack, sipping on some cognac. Fishbowl to whip, finna catch a contact. Drinks on me, so the liquor's on tap, and the party don't stop, homie. You just gotta send them to the back of the lack, sipping on some cognac. Fishbowl to whip, finna catch a contact. Drinks on me, so the liquor's on tap, and we party every night, and we never going back.
Yeah,
Word. That's a vibe right there.
yeah, and yeah, I was liking that one, man. Fucking, it's quick and always to the point with Libsy songs too.
Yeah.
I had to it's like a couple minutes, you know what I'm saying? And I
Yeah.
like that because it just keeps it moving. But yeah, that was a good one, and I love I love how it has that guitar vibe because anything's got that
Hmm.
guitar. The,
Yeah.
Lucifer heard this already? Lucifer, you on your shit, man. He's like, yeah, I already heard this one a few times. It's fire. Okay.
When did it come out? Friday?
Yeah.
Blue's been bumping it for 2 days straight, I'm sure.
I gotta fucking start dropping more music now. I'm gonna put a
Right.
fucking single out every Friday too. Yeah, that's what I gotta do.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
wonder. I wonder what people think of Libsy's fucking accent.
what do
Because,
you mean? What do you mean?
well,
It's
he's got that Boston accent. So you remember my when I lived in Florida, my
yeah,
roommate was from Philadelphia, and
yeah,
he would point out to me like he's like, "What's up with your accent?" And I never noticed my own voice, so I don't notice it.
yeah.
But like I notice it when Libsy talks. So I'm like, "Oh, he's got that fucking Boston accent."
Yeah, like it's more even unique than that. It's like New
Yeah,
Bedford.
yeah,
It's New Bedford, and like I have like a northern Massachusetts, southern Maine
Chicago.
fucking accent. That's what I have. But
Yeah,
sometimes it comes out and sometimes it doesn't. But
yeah.
yeah, it's unique.
But
But yeah,
I love how he goes hard on some bars. I love
mhm,
that aggressive sound, you know?
yeah. Um, Lucifer has an accent. It's probably pretty twangy. If I
Yeah,
had to guess. I mean, I just picture that. All right, he's
yeah.
from Tennessee, right? So yeah,
Tennessee.
I'm not thinking like it's probably southern a little bit in there.
Yeah,
I
it's all
don't
love though. Like
accents are
it's funny to hear these accents though.
yeah, but it's funny that when I listen to Heroes music, I don't really hear too much of an accent with it when he
Yeah,
raps. But with Libsy, it's just there. It's all
right.
up, and I think that makes like his music like different in that way. You know what I'm saying?
For
Like
sure.
people, especially where he's at, can fucking relate too because they hear that or in the area. They're
Mhm.
like, oh yeah, that's definitely familiar.
Mhm.
Man. All right, so what do we got? Lucifer, yeah. I think he's got a real southern accent. If he ever gets a camera one day, he might come on a show.
Oh shit. Hell yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't really have much more, you know what I'm saying? We could go over things, but it's like we just be beating a dead horse at this point.
Right.
And I'm not really down for doing that, so I think that there's I wanted to say that I got some music videos done when I was down there, and there's gonna be some shit coming out from XL, who's a rapper out of Salem. We had a pretty unique shoot day with him out there in Salem at
Yeah,
a
did you
park.
go to that witch museum yet?
No, we didn't go anywhere but this park.
Huh.
The park, and we spent the whole time shooting over there, and we got everything that we needed
Yeah.
done over there. So, but he was eccentric and like had a vision of doing everything a certain way, and like fake blood and like all kinds of like just crazy shit, which is
Yeah.
great. And it was awesome to have someone that, because a lot of times you go and making music videos and there's no real plan, just film the shit and you fucking just edit it together, right? But for have him, it just be like, well, what do you want? How do you want to do it? And he
Right.
walk through and do all this shit, and it was cool because it wasn't something that I would think of, you know what I'm saying? So
Right, right.
um but yeah, so shout out to that. And I think he's trying to drop the video and the song around the 4th of July or something. It's called Divided States of America. Or it might not be called that, but that's what it was about. It's a very dope fucking song. Kind of like uh, his way of addressing issues that are going on right now. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
In the United States of America. And then we did a video for Heroes fucking Boston,
Yeah, I can't wait to see that.
which we filmed at Fenway, at and
Yeah,
around Fenway.
did you post photos of that shoot, or was Hero posting those?
Yeah,
I saw him in front of Fenway with the Red Sox shirt on somewhere.
yeah, I could have posted it. But I know I sent them to him too. But yeah, we
Okay.
filmed there, and a couple different spots there. One walking around on Lansdowne, walking up Lansdowne Street, and then one standing at on the other side at the gate that we go up the stairs, or it says
Yep.
Fenway or whatever,
Yep.
and over at the statue. So 3 spots basically there.
Okay.
And then we went over to the bridge. What is that bridge that lights up by the garden of the
Zachem.
Zachem? Yeah, we went underneath the Zachem Bridge. There's a skate park down there. Actually, it's really cool when you drive down that way. It's like I don't know if it's condos or something out there, but they're nice. It looks like it's condos or whatever. It could be
it's either office space or condos.
But there's a fucking huge skate park under there, and then there's this bridge, this walking path that kind of goes up onto the bridge, and you can see it all back there. And we got that as a backdrop and shot there. So we got some good locations. And the video is pretty. I mean, I've been working on it pretty much today. It's pretty much done. I mean, I got to do a couple of things to it, but it's pretty much done. It was nice and easy to get that done. And then we got a lot of shit done with Libsy. We're gonna have like 3 videos for Libsy coming out.
Oh, sick!
I'm gonna be going down Wednesday, Thursday again to do some reshoots and additional footage for another song. We're gonna actually possibility to shoot for our song that we have called Dread while we're down there. Because I was like, if I'm coming down, might as well, and we got time, might as well do that. So
that one's unreleased, right?
It's out. Dread,
it is? Okay.
Dread is out. He dropped that a few weeks back. I always have it I did anyway for a while, have it as my featured on my Spotify. But yeah, Dread, we can play that real quick actually. This one, we'll make a video for this hopefully. And it's going to be simple, but I mean, we'll get it done. Like one location.
This is a Lucy Gang production.
Master voodoo walk creeping through the shadow like if Cupid poison dipping each and every single arrow. I'ma make you fall in love with me and take you to the gallows. Throw your body in the river, hope the water isn't shallow. Master voodoo walk creeping through the shadow like if Cupid poison dipping each and every single arrow. I'ma make you fall in love with me and take you to the gallows. Throw your body in the river, hope the water isn't shallow. Whooshy gang and elevate, the smoke will make you suffocate. You choking now, you gotta hate, but then we hit the interstate. Dispensaries and dinner plates, my Ultima will navigate 20 inches on the rims, bitch, you know I gotta skate. Profit but I'm overweight, never catch me slipping in the garden, yeah I cultivate CBD and THC, I isolate for potency, distribute that shit locally, hopefully, openly promote what my approach should be. I'm open for delivery, so plug in your auxiliary, hit them with the synergy, conspiracies and mysteries, third eyes open, motherfucker, know your history, don't worship the flag, call that shit some liberty. 1, 2, 3 into the motherfucking 4. Smoking on these concentrates is all I fucking know. Besides rapping, getting money, making dough. You can find me on the sidelines with the hustlers taking notes. Whoa. Master voodoo walk creeping through the shadow like if Cupid poison dipping each and every single arrow. I'ma make you fall in love with me and take you to the gallows. Throw your body in the river, hope the water isn't shallow. Master voodoo walk creeping through the shadow like if Cupid poison dipping each and every single arrow. I'ma make you fall in love with me and take you to the gallows. Throw your body in the river, hope the water isn't shallow. I'm the Panic at the Disco, bitch, I'm back in blood, I'm feeling like the Count of Monte Cristo. I'm the rap game Mephisto, riding dirty in a Pinto, shooting, aiming at your kiddo out the window with a gizmo that's no cap like the Avengers with no leader, spit for profit with the prophet, that's a creature double feature, huffing ether with the reaper, got us matching on some reefer, give coronavirus fevers when I hit you with the heater, we gon' ride through the night, creeping through the city, this ain't Disney, we don't fuck with rats, taking out a Mickey, his homie acting goofy, and he thinking he can trick me, smack his dog to Pluto, then I'm hitting mini for a quickie. I got a few shells, bitch, I'm trying to catch a homie. They don't ever see it coming, put the silence on the Tommy, put a bullet in your father and your sister and your mommy, and I know you're feeling sickly when you see your antibody. Master voodoo walk creeping through the shadow like if Cupid poison dipping each and every single arrow. I'ma make you fall in love with me and take you to the gallows.
So yeah.
Yeah, I remember that song. I remember that Mickey line.
Yeah.
That's going to be sick.
Yeah, so hopefully we can get that done. Like I said, just one spot. I'll pick like a dope spot in New Bedford right when we're down there somewhere, and I'll be like, this is it. And we'll shoot the whole fucking thing like right there, and I might get one background and turn a different way maybe and get another. But you know what I'm saying? One spot. We'll just come over here, play it again and do it a second time. Cut that shit together. We got an easy little video.
Yep.
And then we still got to get the rest of the footage for the live resin shit and whatever else.
Right.
yeah, he'll have 3 or 4 videos lined up ready to go when it's all said and done.
Dope.
And yeah, Lucifer, if you want to send me that the beat or whatever, I'm doing Thursday's Beats Over Beats show again. I don't know how the format's going to be anymore because it's all kind of going to be different, I think. But I am going to do Thursday's show. I need someone to come on with me. That's the biggest thing, and I'm trying to figure out who that's going to be right now. Because yeah, I don't want to just be there by myself playing only my fucking beats. I'd rather have someone who also makes beats and or have multiple people come on and show beats or whatever and talk beats. So yeah, send it to my email and I'll definitely play it. If you got more than one, send more than one too. I'll play them on Thursday's show. But yeah, that's pretty much it for tonight. Tim, bounced out early, so he didn't get all the hard fucking. No, we gave him the good questions. I didn't leave really. We know he does all the New Bedford throwdowns and bars over bars. He's DJing out there for that, so you can always catch him out there. He doesn't really have anything he would have performed. We played the song that he's got out with Chemic, and if you want to check out his Instagram or SoundCloud, because that's where you can probably find a lot of his stuff and contact him through there. Let's just give him a quick little shout out once again. You can find him right here, wherever that is, right here.
Vincentenced.
Yeah, you just look up that name right there and go to his SoundCloud. And if you want to reach out to him on IG, do that. He's got beats for days. Kid's only in high school, so it's only up from here, really. But now that he's got a job and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? How that goes when you start working. Things change. Things change in your life. So hit him up now before it's too late. And he's like a 25-year-old dude who's like got to work to support everything. Right now, he's still in school and he's making beats, and you can get him for the low. So hit him up. Also, if you need beats from me, you can hit me up too, because I got beats.
He DJs too, so if you're a performer or whatever and you need somebody,
exactly,
hit him up.
And if you need a music video done and you're in Maine, New Hampshire, Massachusetts,
Canada, you go to Canada?
I'm not allowed in Canada.
Motherfucker!
It's literally 3 minutes from where I'm at right now. But if you're in need of a music video, we can do 4K, 1080, whatever it is. I got a drone. We can drone shit that it looks pretty cool. So that's awesome. Go to elevateaudioandvisual.com. You can email me, ryan.lemire at elevateaudioandvisual.com as well, with any questions, whatever. We're trying to book music videos right now for mid to end June into July. So
and you got 4 or 5 videos coming out in the next couple months here, so
5 in the next month or so probably that are coming out on top of what I've already got there.
So the quality will speak for itself, I'm sure.
It will get better as they go along too. So but yeah, we're doing them. The only way to kind of fucking to get your experience is to just do it. So that's the kind of the learning that I like to do. So we got to do music videos, and we're doing them, and we're going to continue to do them. And like I said, they're going to get better as the as the practice gets up there. But yeah, of course we got to shout out Bars Over Bars, because without them this shit wouldn't be going down. Make sure you check out. We got shows like this every single night, so they're always live streaming every live performance too that they put out. And they got plenty of them coming out. I think he's thrown like 35 or 30, a ridiculous amount of shows already so far in 2021. So shout out Bars Over Bars and everybody who's doing their thing there. And we'll have some big announcements to come in the next week or two about some shows happening down there in July that I may or may not be a part of too. So definitely we'll be shouting that out when that happens. We need to work on a couple things. We did shoot at the dispensary Basque in Fairhaven, which was really cool. We got footage in there. It came out really good, and they're really happy with how it came out too, because we reviewed it with them before we left, and so they kind of asked us to kind of help them put something on. So I'm hoping that it goes well, and Libsy and Hero can work that out to where we got some dope artists, and it's a beneficial thing for everybody, because they're a really cool company too. On top of being like a medical / recreational cannabis company, they're like fully organic and sun grown, so they don't use electricity to grow their stuff. They use outdoor greenhouses, and so that's really cool. They're like, good for the planet. But sucking down a ton of electricity, like a lot of growers in a lot of states are doing. Not able to do that full sun-grown cannabis, so that's their thing. That's like their all natural organic thing. So shout out to them. I think Libsy's gonna lock it down, and we're gonna get in there and have a great time. So announcement
doubt.
coming soon, I'm sure. But for now, just tune into the shows every day. We got a new show coming next Sunday at 6. Brand new show called Shots Over Shots. It's going to be a show where we talk about videography and music videos and shit like that, and photography a little bit as well. And I'm actually going to be a guest on that show. And it's going to be at 6:00 next Sunday. So it'll play before this show comes on. And it's only about an hour long, but tune in. We're going to be reviewing some music videos that the kid, Zach from ZTW Productions, has done a couple music videos. And I got a couple that I did. And I may have, a little behind the scenes clips and shit like that to go over with them and shit. So it'll be fun anyway to just go over some videos and talk about styles and different techniques and shit like that, and take questions if anybody has them. So but yeah, it's been a good show, and we'll catch you on the flip side. All right.